Does debt settlement affect my security clearance? If you are wondering how debt settlement might impact your security clearance, you are not alone. Many people face financial challenges and seek alternatives to bankruptcy. Understanding the implications of debt settlement is essential, especially if you hold a security clearance or are considering applying for one. Security clearances are granted by the government to individuals who need access to sensitive information. The evaluation process considers many factors, including financial responsibility. Financial issues, particularly unresolved debts, are often the most common reasons for denial or revocation of security clearances. Debt settlement involves negotiating with creditors to pay less than what you owe. Typically, you stop making payments to your creditors and pay a settlement company instead. This company negotiates on your behalf to reduce your total debt. However, this approach can negatively affect your credit score. Missed payments may be reported to credit agencies, which can raise concerns about your financial stability. When it comes to security clearance, the government closely monitors financial behavior. Missed payments and unresolved debts can be seen as red flags. If you enter a debt settlement program, your credit report may show delinquent accounts. This can be interpreted as a sign of financial instability, which is a concern for security clearance adjudicators. They may view this instability as making you more vulnerable to pressure or bribery, which could compromise national security. Compared to bankruptcy, debt settlement is sometimes viewed as a less severe option. However, both can impact your security clearance. Bankruptcy is a legal process that discharges most debts but remains on your credit report for years. It is considered a serious financial event. Debt settlement, while less formal, still involves not paying debts as agreed, which can be viewed unfavorably by those reviewing your clearance. If you are considering debt settlement as an alternative to bankruptcy, it is essential to understand the risks involved for your security clearance. The government looks for evidence of responsible financial management. Entering a debt settlement program may be interpreted as failing to meet your financial obligations, which can lead to clearance denial or revocation. For those facing financial difficulties and concerned about their clearance, seeking help from nonprofit credit counseling agencies is a wise step. These organizations can assist you in consolidating and managing your debts without harming your credit as severely as debt settlement or bankruptcy might. Taking proactive steps to address your debts is generally viewed more favorably than waiting until you are in default. In summary, debt settlement can indeed affect your security clearance, especially if it leads to missed payments or unresolved debts. The government prioritizes financial responsibility, and any sign of instability can put your clearance at risk. While debt settlement may seem like a better alternative to bankruptcy, both options have consequences for your security clearance status. Always consider all your options and seek professional guidance before making a decision.